Hi everyone, I'm Lesley from the Beck. Here in Australia, we've just had our summer holidays. So I took a little bit of a break, but here we are refreshed and ready to start a whole new school year. So today's video are my must-have ICT tools to help you start your new year, both with organizing your classroom and things that you can do with your students in the first couple of weeks. Let's get started. My first must-have app is Evernote. Evernote is your digital classroom organizer. I like to think of it as my digital filing cabinet. Within Evernote, you can make a digital file with every one of your students' names. Within each file, you can then record text, pictures, take photos of things, add attachments from other apps. There's lots of things you can do. In the first week of school, I like to use Evernote to do 3 things. The first thing is I take a photo of each child, and this helps me to learn their names over the first few days. The second thing is, as you're having the conversations with the students about their hobbies, their pets, their brothers and sisters, the things that you want to remember that you're going to come back to help build a relationship with that child, record those things in Evernote, and that way you know where they are. The third thing is, I like to send each parent a little message of a positive thing that their child has done in the first week, and this helps to create a really good positive relationship with parents from the get-go. So as you notice your students doing a positive thing throughout the week, record it in Evernote. That way you know where it is, it's easily accessible, and you can share it with both the student and the parent when the time comes. From there, you can then spend the rest of your term collecting evidence of learning samples, such as writing conferences, reading conferences, maths conferences, artwork, any kind of little tidbit, conversation, notable thing that you see in class that you want to remember at a later date. This information is so useful when it comes to writing things such as reports, having parent-teacher interviews, and any other kind of communication that needs to be done between you, the parent, and the student. Next on the list is Google Translate. If you're looking at your role list and you have some EALD students who maybe have just recently returned to Australia and are still getting the hang of their English, Google Translate is a really helpful one to have around. Particularly in the first week when you're having to do lots of communication, giving lots of information, laying down rules, doing lots of group work and collaboration, it's really helpful to have a very simple, very easy and very effective translation app that you can make sure that your student is understanding the important information that you are trying to give them. Really simple, but really effective. Also, to help support your EALD learners or any other learners in your classroom who might have reading difficulties, Microsoft Lens is a really important one to make sure you've got ready to go at the beginning of the year. Microsoft Lens is an app that turns text written on paper into digital form. It's a really helpful tool to have, one, for EALD families, because once you turn text that's written on paper into digital form, you're then able to run it through a program such as Google Translate to very quickly translate information for families that you have that may not speak English. It's also really helpful for, 2, children who have difficulties with reading. Once you have turned text on a paper into digital form, you can then run it through a program such as Immersive Reader and make it more easier for them to read. This will help your first week go much smoother because you can get across the information that you need to, and you'll also gain the trust and respect of both families and students who need this support. Next is RandoMeister. RandoMeister is just a really quick, easy and simple app that helps you choose a student's name at random or randomly sorts them into groups for you really quickly. What I love about the group option in RandoMeister is you have the ability to actually make sure that some kids don't go in groups with other kids. So for example, you can make sure that Charlotte does not get put in a group with Jacob or Thomas by going into the options menu and placing restrictions on their names. And so when the kids complain that they don't like the group they're in, I can say, well, it wasn't me, it was the luck of the iPad. Your class lists also don't just have to be made up of names. You can make a list of table groups, reading groups, writing groups, whatever. So last year with my year 4s, they had coloured circles on the floor that they sat on. So I then made a list on this app of purple circle, green circle, blue circle, and that way I could draw random students that way as well. And of course, we can't have a must-have without having Canva in here. You have to have Canva at the beginning of the year. It is essential. You can use it for all your classroom bits and pieces, such as making labels for the kids' books or the kids' trays. You can create newsletters for the term, notes home to parents. And the great thing is you can get all kids using this on day one through the internet, and they can be making their own book covers. They can be making safety posters about how to use devices properly. They can be making infographics about themselves, lots of things to keep them busy for those first couple of weeks and beyond. Plus, think of all the budget money that you'll save on photocopying. And again, the next essential must-have is Padlet. The beginning of the year is one of those times when you do so much group collaboration, group work, getting kids to work together, looking at all the dynamics in your classroom, and getting them to decide things for the class as a group, such as making your class rules, making up rules for using the internet, anything that you need to set up your year. Padlet works by creating a digital collaboration space for the kids. It gives them a Padlet board that any number of kids can have access to. You can change settings for how you want kids to post, fonts, colors, images. You can set them tasks that you want them to do on the screen, and then the kids can collaborate together and provide their own things and ideas underneath. It's a fabulous collaboration tool, perfect for the beginning of the year. And the fact that you can save everything the kids have done without having to store copious amounts of butcher's paper everywhere. Class Equity is relatively new. I've just come across it very recently. I like to think of it as Class Dojo, but the next step for maybe some older kids. So it's a web-based program that allows you to manage your class monitor jobs online and pay students for completing the jobs. It also doubles as a way online to help teachers manage class money for those classrooms that like to have a class money system. So the best features of it are: you can create a list of monitor jobs that need to be done. You can choose from ones that are already there, or you can make up your own. And you'll need to list the skills required to be able to do each job. You can also set up a classroom store. In here, you can charge students for getting a new pencil or a new glue stick, or you can make it a little bit more exciting, such as being able to choose music during lunchtime eating period or something like that. You can set up bonuses, which reward kids with money for doing positive things in the classroom, and also you can give them fines for doing the wrong things. So if you have younger students, you can just assign them jobs yourself easily. But if you have older students, they actually have the option to be able to go into your job list, find a job they want to do, and apply for it. And this process involves them having to write a resume, listing the skills that they can do and why they would be good for the job. And from there, you can hire them. One of the other things that I love is when the kids want to claim the money you have given them, it makes them use maths. To be able to deposit the money into their account, they have to add on the amount that they've given and write their new total. If they write an incorrect total, it won't let them add the money in until they get it right. And same principle when they are buying anything from the shop, they have to look at how much they've got, how much it costs, and then how much they're going to have left over if they buy it. And again, if they use the wrong maths, it won't let them buy it. Lastly, Classroom Screen is something that has been around for a while, but has recently had a lot of great new additions added to it. So, it's what the name says it is. It's a classroom screen. It's a web-based screen that you display up on your board in the classroom, and you can use a number of widgets all at one time. I often find any time in a maths lesson, I might have 5 different web pages open. One of them has a timer, one of them has dice, one of them has a noise meter. It can be a number of things, but this is a way that you can get everything you need on the screen all at one time. So for example, you can put up widgets such as a noise meter. You can put text up there or images. You can put a timer up there, dice. You can have QR codes that the kids will come up and scan. You can have group makers. You can have random student name choosers. Have a look. There is literally so much stuff you can put up there. All of them, you can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, you can change the colors of them. It's really up to you. And we're done. So those were my must-have ICT tools for every teacher at the start of the year. Hopefully some of those will be really useful for you. Leave me some comments down below to let me know how they went. Also in the comments down below, I've got some links to some of the videos that I've made for things like Padlet, Canva, Evernote, so you can actually see a longer process and how it works in your classroom. Please feel free to share with all your teacher friends. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell if you want to know when all my new videos are released. Thanks for watching and have a great day.